Today, we're going to go through the basic steps on how to start the PowerCELL. We first open up the bottom right door, and what we're doing is making sure that all our circuit breakers and switches are in the correct position. So the main circuit breaker is in the on position, and the transformer, which is the 480 to 240 volt, is in the on position. Make sure all your other switches are in the off position, as well as your data van circuit breaker. And then you're going to open the top door. What we want to make sure here is that the main HPU breaker is in the on position, that the emergency stop has not been activated, and that the HPU motor controller is in the auto position. Once all of that is verified, you can proceed to switch on the main battery disconnect. This will power on the unit and allow the computers to boot up. As we can see, that is the local computer booting up, and the remote control computer will be identical to this. So what we can see is very easy to read the basic functions of the engine, and the left-hand controller is for the operator's springs. We then go to the HPU screen. We can see the hydraulic oil pressure and the hydraulic oil temperature level, and we can also go to the generator screen. Right now, there is no voltage or amperage, but it also has a load indicator in the middle. And on the info screen, we can see that the controller and the engine and the generator modules are all online. So once we have verified all our switches are in the correct position and the computers have booted up, we go to the central door, which is at the generator's local control panel, and we want to make sure the master breaker is on, the locally stop on the engine has not been activated, and we simply want to put the generator module in the auto position, which allows us to now use the remote control systems. We simply go back to the local panel or the remote panel. Make sure you're in the engine screen and simply hit start. As we can see, the unit engine has started, and we want to make sure we have got good voltages of the 24-volt system. So as long as that's above that, you can see we've got good levels, fuel, DEF coolant, and good oil pressure. And at the same time, the external lights would come on to show the engine is running and there are no active fault codes. Going back to the home screen, we want to do some verifications and ensure the rest of the system is correct. The engines will stay at about 700 RPM until the coolant temperature gets to about 100 degrees, and only enable the unit to go to full. The screens on the right offer the maintenance departments, and that will show them a lot more data on the various subsystems, should more in-depth analysis of the system be required. Again, we can see the particle counters and exactly what's going on the voltage side. Then on the info screen, we can see all the work order numbers for this specific unit. So going back to the engine screen, we want to wait for that coolant temperature to get to 100 degrees, and only then will the engine RPM go to the full RPM, which is about 1800 RPM. We're watching for the temperatures at 99 degrees now. As soon as it gets to 100 degrees, the engine will go to full RPM, and the respective internal breakers will close. There you can see the RPM ramping up to its 1800 designated speed. At this point now, you have full electrical power on the unit, and all the external lighting will be on as well. At that point, you can go ahead and close up all your doors because the bulk of the time, the unit is actually operated from the remote control. and that is usually situated inside the data van. On the rest of the unit, you can see from all 4 vantage points on all 4 sides of the unit, you have the green LED light bars on. And should the unit have any, whether it be low-level warnings, the green lights will go off, and orange will come on. And if it's a more serious warning, the orange lights will go off, and the red lights will come on. As long as the unit is glowing green, you know everything is sound with the unit, and does not require any attention.